So if you've recently been asked to get an MRI scan and you're not sure what to expect, don't worry. I'm going to talk you through everything. So MRI stands for magnetic resonance imaging. Basically, it's a lot more detailed than an X-ray or a CT scan to take detailed pictures. And of course, there's no radiation involved. Generally, these things can be used for any kind of joint issues, internal injuries, or generally just an internal scan that you need to get for one reason or another. So I've had 2 MRI scans in my time. I've had one for my jaw, which was going through some injuries, and also a small bowel picture that I got as well. And that was related to my Crohn's disease, which I've had for about 20 years. So I'm going to tell you about each of those experiences so you get a bit of a general sense as to how the scan will work. Okay, first things first. One of the most important things is when you go into the machine, you can't have any metal on you, ideally. So things like, for me, wedding ring, any sort of internal metal piercings, things like that. The clothes that you choose to wear can't have any metal within them, so belts will probably come off. Sometimes you can be put into a gown, although not always. I went in with some jogging pants and a t-shirt. And the jogging pants thread that had the bit of metal on the end where you obviously tie it up, I took that off as well. So generally, if you can take all the metal off you, you'll be fine. But if you have things like a pacemaker, it's important to tell the doctor about that so that they can be ready. As I imagine, the magnetic nature of an MRI scan, it's very important to know these things. So just make sure you're ready for that. Okay, so the MRI scan, it's very much probably what you've seen on TV. It's a little tunnel that you'll lie on a bed and then they'll put you inside. It can be, for some people, a little bit claustrophobic because it's right there. You know, the tube's generally a bit small. So if you're someone who feels anxious or claustrophobic or are worried about those sorts of things, best thing to do is communicate that to somebody before you go in. It's not something that they haven't heard before. There's probably plenty of people that have felt the same way. So they are of course on speakers and things, and they'll keep asking you if you're okay and stuff like that. That kind of things, the anxiety, I totally understand it. I've felt it. Just keep communicating and they'll get you through it. So the scan itself is about 45 minutes from my personal experience. Because the machine itself is quite loud, you get earplugs, or if you're lucky, you'll get some headphones and they'll play some music for you whilst you're going through it. Helps kind of relax you and keep you sort of amused at the same time whilst you're sitting there. You have to be completely still as much as possible. So in order to do that, you have to be relaxed as possible. So working with them to stay as relaxed as possible is something that you need to bear in mind. When I had the MRI scan for my jaw, they did also sort of put a little clamp around where on my face, my head. That was probably the more invasive one I've felt in terms of claustrophobia, because it's obviously a cushion. It's not like they're clamping you down, it hurts. It's just the fact that everything's sort of clamped around you, and that feeling of you can't escape sort of thing, if you had to, can get to you. But again, they'll keep talking to you through the speakers, they'll talk you through it, they'll keep engaging with you to remind you that everything is in fact okay. So for the small bowel photograph, it was actually a little bit different. I had to drink some juice over the course of an hour, which is designed to brighten up your colon, as it were. So you drink this fluid an hour before you scan. Drink about 100 milliliters every 10 minutes. And then once you're through it all, they'll bring you into your appointment. The small bowel scan was a little bit better than the one for my jaw because, of course, my head wasn't clamped. It was a series of sensors that went across my tummy. And it was like a really nice warm blanket. So it felt like I was going in for, a bit of a snooze. And luckily, the other end of the tunnel for that one was open. So there was lots of light and I felt a lot better about it. That one was also different in the sense that you get regular instructions to breathe in, breathe out, hold your breath. So that in turn engages your brain, and that's really, really helpful to distract you from what's going on. For that one, you also get injected with some Buscopan, probably to keep the bowel stable. I take Buscopan for Crohn's disease anyway, so I'm not unused to that sort of thing. And then they'll probably inject you some dye to help illuminate things as well. So of course you'll get a cannula in your hand before you go in, and so they can feed that through a drip when they need to. You'll probably feel a little bit cold when they do it. Your arm might feel a little bit twitchy. That was me. wasn't really a big deal for me, but just so you're not taken by surprise if you're getting a small bowel MRI scan, that's kind of the thing to expect. So key factors are remain still, don't have metal, and keep communicating to alleviate any claustrophobia or anxiety that you might be feeling. Don't let it get to the point of breaking point. Keep engaging with them and they'll help you through it. They've heard all this stuff before, they know what to do. And the greatest thing is that once this scan is over, the recovery time, there isn't any necessarily. You have to sit around probably for 5 minutes to take a couple of deep breaths and then get the cannula removed if you've been given one, that is, and generally you're on your way. So that is about it. So in terms of the scan, not painful at all, just a little bit of anxiety. Again, I can't say it enough. Just keep that communication going. Don't be afraid to say what you're feeling about the scan, just to make sure that it's as comfortable for you as possible. And then that way you can remain still like they need you to, so that the images don't get disrupted. If you found this video helpful in any way, feel free to leave a subscription if you want to.